Hey guys, Insomniac666 here with another Khaimera gameplay. I guess I'm on a little bit of a Khaimera kick. And for this one we do pretty good. We don't, unlike my last video where we just completely swept them and they surrendered within the first 20 minutes or so. This was a little bit of a longer match. They actually put up a little bit of a fight, and they kind of had a little bit of a comeback towards the end, but had a good early game. It's right here, this Grux thinks he can push, just being a freaking idiot, and totally just ganked him. Probably the most easiest gank I've ever had. And this Bellica thinks the same thing. She's gonna push, totally can't. And this one actually comes a little close, but fortunately the spirit regen keeps me alive, and my buddies help me out. My Grux helps me out, and with a sliver of health left, got it good. And because of that encounter, I put more into my spirit regen, and since my new deck specializes in attack speed, it's a little less important for me to put points into my unleash, because, well, it's just not really as necessary because I'm already attacking fast. And this Grux once again overextends, and fortunately I have red buff so I can catch up to him. Then just since it's such early game, after we spend our points, it's our abilities, it's pretty much just who can whittle the other one down the most, and spirit regen once again helps me and my bud. So this is just good teamwork and being a good jungler and a good ganker. And then I see again, I go back because I have plenty of card XP from getting those 2 kills. Head back in. And I think I'll talk about a little bit about the new hero. I'm excited for the Countess. It looks pretty interesting. Like I'm excited to see what she is. I think she could possibly be another jungler. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it's entirely possible. And I think she's more of a, you can't really call Kalari a full jungler because she just doesn't have the regen to really do it, but she is a pure assassin, and I think the Countess is kind of a pure assassin. But then again, someone could probably spec in lifesteal with her and be pretty good, because I'd imagine someone who's a vampire's got to have lifesteal as a way to spec. There's no way you don't do that. Now right here I try and go for a kill, but unfortunately the Sevarog wallops me across the map, and at that point I'm decided just to go back and card up and come back in for the ganks, because that's when they're trying to push and overextending themselves, that's when it's the best time to be a Khaimera, and not when I have low health. So being a good jungler, coming through, and this Bellica again, same thing with that Grux, they just don't really want to learn from their mistakes. Overextends, no mana, very little health. I kind of waste my ult a little bit on her, but it's not a huge cooldown for the ult, and it was a worthwhile thing just in case she tried to escape. Whittle down the tower a little bit, but unfortunately sort of ran out of minions to help do that. And then we go back into the tower. This time I think we finish it off pretty quickly. Yeah, I think they lowered the health on some of the towers, but this Bellica once again comes in thinking she can get a little more, but she of course unfortunately spends all of her abilities in one go, and then she even uses her ultimate there and doesn't do too much damage. And I don't know what she was specking in, but not very helpful because she had no damage, not really too much mana either. And so getting some good early hits in on this second tier tower, which is huge for early game, especially considering that none of the other towers have fallen yet. Putting damage on their second tower, that's huge. And this Grux kind of tries to come in and gank me, and this Sevarog even tries to come in, and it becomes a weird team fight where no one really dies. Oh, well, the Grux gets a kill, and Grux got another kill on that Sevarog. Come in. I got a bunch of assists on that, but no kills, even though I probably deserved some of them. But that's okay. But definitely a huge team fight win there for us, and that allows us to take out this tower, and this Fae just decides, instead of retreating, decides to try and put up a fight. Doesn't really work, and then she gets 4v1'd pretty good, and just completely loses it there. And unfortunately, their minions push up on this lane. See, that's the one thing that's a little upsetting about these whole minion pushes is how little need there is for heroes to even be there. They can push up and take out a tower so easily. Like, I would at least like to see, you know, the hero have to put in a little bit of a push to get them into there. Like, once they're in there, they're doing huge amounts of damage. That's fine. But I think there needs to be a hero to sort of be the initiator of that, not just sort of... But then again, that's how you sort of catch lazy teams, is you set up a self-pushing lane and they forget about that lane, and then they're out. And I mean, that's a huge strategy of the game, which, I mean, that's not... I don't think that's neither here nor there in terms of strategy, because that just shows that the team just doesn't have... The team you're playing anyway doesn't have smart defensive skills if they aren't covering their lanes properly. Oh, and right here, this Bellica, once again, overextends herself a lot because she thinks she's going to be able to take out this tower. I'm able to take her out there with this sort of a weird... As the Grux is pulling her, I get the last hit, which is funny. So it's a little interesting with the meta right now, especially with the self-pushing minions and the low inhibitor health and the lower travel mode, and it all sort of makes the soon, hopefully soon, release of the new map that much better, because hopefully that new map will fix a lot of the issues, and hopefully it'll fix a lot of the issues, and we'll be able to fix a lot of the concerns with the meta, maybe a little bit more activeness in the heroes, a little bit less with the minions. The travel mode won't be an issue because apparently there's not going to be any travel mode. But the interesting thing will be to see is whether or not they keep this map or not. And I mean, I think they, to an extent, I think they should, just for the fact that it's history, I guess, or, you know, nostalgia reasons, even though this map's been around for, you know, what, less than a year. But just to completely ditch it, I think would be a sort of not that good of an idea. But there are some flaws in this map that hopefully they'll be able to iron out while everyone else is not paying attention, and they're able to fix it while everyone's playing on the new map. That's probably when they're going to be able to do their most amount of work on this map, because everyone's super sensitive to this map, because people play it every day and it's the only choice that they have. So it's the only choice that they have. They're obviously going to be they're going to care a lot more when something changes versus when they have the option to play on another map. And right here, this inhibitor, I try to push on it, but then of course 3 of their guys come by and tell me no. But I see a Grux trying to come up, and I try to get him down, ult him down, but unfortunately he does a smart move with his ult there and sort of keeps us out. And then the Sevarog, I don't know why he had such low health and tried to engage, because he was pretty much one-shotted by that Iggy. And this Grux here, once again, smart move, or pulls me in, but then Quang takes me out. But we're still doing very, very well. They've only taken out one of our towers, and we're pretty much choking them at all points right now, because all they have is their inhibitors left, so they're playing a very... You know, they have to be pretty much perfect defensively. If they mess up at any point in their sort of defensive patterns, they are sort of done, as they would say. And then I think it's at this point, I believe oh, yes, right here. This Sevarog once again, I don't know why he kept going in with low health, but he was super low health a lot of the time, and I'm able to ult on him, and it's no thing getting that final kill off of him. And then I can push this lane a little bit, but this Quang kind of decides to come in and clean me up. But I'm excited to see this new hero, because I think she'll be an interesting counterpoint. At least it seemed like from her video that she's might be somewhat of an anti-tank, as the same way Bellica was sort of an anti-mage. I think that would be an interesting combo to see, is the the anti-tank, because I think a lot of tanks, especially the Iggy tank style, which I mean isn't even like a legitimate tank style, but is still a very modern used tank style. I think they have a little bit too much, not enough counters in them. They just too easily are able to take over, or at least be able to take a couple hits before they're completely destroyed, even with armor penetration and all that stuff. And this Quang sort of farming a lane. And unfortunately the Decker sort of traps them in, so they have no other option, and I ult on one of them. And then get the Quang on the other, and very good team fight, and the Sephiroth, knowing that he's totally outmatched, runs away. Smart move. And then here's my fun little sweep right here, as we get to come in, take out that inhibitor. Spelica tries to defend on us, doesn't really work out. Push up the lane a little bit, and then as I see my other teammates pushing up the lane, go over to this inhibitor, and then sort of just around the horn, get to run up, and then take out all 3 inhibitors, and then at this point it's a pretty much a done deal. You can't really come back from losing all 3 inhibs and still having Prime up, and so it was pretty much a no-go after that. But thanks for listening, guys. See ya.